Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our next lesson on niche testing, tweaking, and honing. And I'm really excited to be diving into this really meaty info for you because this is an issue that is probably one of the most prevalent, common requests I get from people about how they're going to figure out if their niche is the right one. So I'm really excited to be sharing a lot of this information with you today. Now, in this lesson, we're going to go much more deeply into the specific ways to uncover, discover, verify, or even switch a niche that you've selected based on real evidence or information learned in the actual marketplace. And it can only help you to know if your theory about your niche is really right or wrong or weak or strong, or if there's a much better niche waiting for you and your killer solution. Now, there are certainly many ways to research niche selection for sure. Some are very complex and expensive, and some are more direct and inexpensive, but still quite revealing. Now, they may not be as comprehensive or statistically correct, but a great deal can still be learned and leveraged. The following three methods should not be underestimated, and they are not to be shortcut, or your intel will be faulty. So use all three methods and learn so much of what you need to know in building out your new business successfully. So method number one, interviewing your ideal niche market. Now, to me, nothing can be better than talking directly to your end users, your target clients, your niche, hearing everything that you want to know right from the horse's mouth. Now, interviews are quite different from surveys because surveys are written and quickly answered documents. In fact, most people are creating surveys so that they can be really completed in under 5 minutes. And I'm not going to suggest these because the return rate on them is really getting lower and lower. And, the information is pretty limited. I'm going to provide some suggested reading from the top expert in using surveys for identifying business opportunity, Ryan Levesque, and he wrote the book Ask, so you can take a look at that if you'd like to use surveys for your niche market analysis. I personally like the direct interview method much, much better. You get direct communication with your ideal niche market or potential clients, and hey, who knows, they might even ask to hire you or engage you just because of the way you conduct your interviews. You get to explore beyond the question. You can ask, for example, well, what do you mean by that? Or say more about that. In other words, you have an opportunity to dig much, much deeper and get a much deeper understanding. You hear their very words. You can leverage them later in your content or in your advertising, and it's so valuable. And you can discover their most pressing pain points. You can uncover what prevented them from solving this problem in the past, or what solution didn't work or did work for them. Now, the information you get is only as good as the interview that you run and the questions you ask and the way you ask them. So you must ask the right questions and in the right way. In this lesson's assignments, I'm going to be providing some sample questions and some question asking guidelines to help you do a really good job in this area. You also must become a master listener. You see, learning how to listen really carefully and without interrupting or not trying to change any of their answers is going to be critical if you're going to learn what you really need to in order to tailor your business to the right people and in the right way and to capture their attention. Now, the intel that you get is only as good as the interview that you run and the questions that you ask and the way that you ask them. So you must ask the right questions and in the right way. In this lesson's assignments, I'm going to be providing some really, really good sample questions and some question asking guidelines to help you do a really excellent job in your interviewing. You also must learn to become a master listener. And what I mean by that is really listening from no input. You want to actually be very objective here. You don't want to interrupt or try to change any of their answers. This is only for you to learn and to understand how they see things. If you try to put your input in, you will not get objective information, and it can totally throw off the way that you launch your business. You also must have a method of recording information, whether you're taking notes or if you're going to record conversations. But if you record conversations, you must ask people's permission. But if you make it anonymous, most people will not have a problem with this. That's been my experience anyway. You can conduct interviews on the phone or on Skype or on Zoom or even in person. It all works really, really well. The next method of testing is through online content, through articles, blogs, videos, and posts. Now, generally, we think of online content as marketing techniques, and that's certainly very true, but because of the social aspect of these kinds of content, they're also tactical and measurable sources of market research. For example, how did Usher know that mentoring Justin Bieber would be a really smart, successful, and lucrative move? Well, he was able to see how many millions of people viewed an unknown Justin on his very first YouTube video. It gave him a big clue that investing in this young guy was going to be a really good move for him as well as for Justin. The beauty of online content is it's trackable. And so the first step is to post articles relevant to your proposed niche. For example, on LinkedIn, which is for free, or share your blog post on LinkedIn or Facebook and Instagram. You can post a video directed at your niche market, which highlights a pain point, and see what kind of reaction that you get on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube. You'll know that you hit a big pain point if your post or video gets a lot of following, a high level of commenting, lots of sharing, or a lot of question asking. When that happens, you have hit a mother lode of opportunity with your niche. Now, one of the challenges in using this method to test out a niche is that you've got to create the right headline, the right subject line, or the lead-in line to attract the right people. You can have the right content in your article, but with the wrong headline, you're going to miss out on a huge amount of opportunity. So you've got to really do some studying around that. And you need to really figure out how you're going to capture the right audience's attention in your opening line or your headline. So let's talk a little bit about online and offline groups next. This is a huge opportunity of research and intelligence. Let's dive into a few online group ideas first. Now, without question, private groups on Facebook are the single biggest opportunity in the world. The bottom line is a huge percentage of all populations are on Facebook at one time or another. So even if they aren't on Facebook for business, they may very well be on it for social or other or personal reasons. So, or maybe someone close to them is on it. It's a vast opportunity regardless of your niche. And what can you learn by having a private Facebook group of your own? Well, Facebook groups reveal where there are high levels of pain. That means complaints and conversations that are addressing these pain points are ongoing all the time, and you can be observing them and listening to all these conversations. You can see how many people are actively seeking solutions and what solutions they're seeking by how many members are in the group and what they're saying in the group. You can also learn how many are seeking community by how many people are asking to join a group. Now, if you're the leader of a group, you're going to know exactly that because they're going to be asking you if they can join your group. Now, I'm going to be getting into way more detail about how to start and grow a group on Facebook for lead generation later in this program. But for now, it's a great opportunity for you to be studying other people's Facebook groups that cater to the same niche that you were considering. You can learn, you can participate, and you can have conversations with people in these targeted groups. So don't let the fact that you don't have an active group going right now stop you from gaining a lot of great information. It's all out there for you. Interestingly enough, LinkedIn offered groups to professionals way before Facebook was even started, but it's fallen way behind in effectiveness so far as groups are concerned. It's still an opportunity because there are so many groups, especially if your ideal niche is highly professional or corporate and very active on LinkedIn. However, the group mechanism on LinkedIn doesn't foster a lot of interaction. However, you can still meet and interact with your ideal niche audience within these groups. They're an opportunity for you to meet, connect with them, and maybe build a relationship, and then you can later on interview them as candidates, for example. And now let's talk about live and in-person groups as well. These are always wonderful. If you find groups who include your ideal niche candidate, they're perfect. If you find a networking group attracting your ideal niche market, it's great. Or meetup groups who do this. It's a perfect opportunity for you to interact with these folks. And then you can take the conversations offline into a one-on-one interview. You can learn a great deal about their most pressing problems and maybe even add on a solution for you once you actually get into conversation with them. It's possible. Or maybe take one out that they're not very interested in. It's a great research opportunity. In addition, you'll have an opportunity to learn all about your competition and way more. And then there's the opportunity to search out online forums on your topic or solution and see which groups or people are showing interest by their commenting and their engagement level. It might really change your thinking completely or happily confirm your business premise. You should ask questions in ideal online forums, participate in discussions, foster relationships, listen for the problems people are griping about, and then you can continue these conversations offline. You can also ask ideal candidates to let you interview them. Now, one cautionary note here. As you're engaging in conversations with lots of folks who may be absolutely perfect for you to work with in your business down the line, during the testing and tweaking stage, you may be sorely tempted to pitch and sell your services. I'm really going to invite you to resist this temptation for two reasons. First, you destroy any relevant information you can use because you've destroyed the impartiality of this process. And secondly, you will no longer have the trust over your interviewee. Remember, you invited them into an interview or into a conversation for research purposes, not to sell them. Later, you're going to have plenty of time to revisit with this person because you'll be keeping track of all your interviews. Now, if they ask you to work with you, that's quite different. That's a different story. But you should not be pitching them and really resist this. Resist selling them. Timing is not right. All right, now it's time to compile and summarize what you've learned. First, you should be keeping track of all that you're learning from candidates and what they share with you. So what have you learned about your ideal niche market? Well, what are the top problems of this niche? What have they told you? What have they done in the past to fix or alleviate their problem? What did they like? What didn't they like? What do they say they want now? How willing are they to receive a solution? Now challenge this because it's easy for them to say, oh, I'm very willing. Or, yeah, right now I want to receive a solution. But you've got to challenge this and find out how ready are they really? Are they ready to take action? You have to dig a little bit. Have they actually purchased a solution in the past? If they did, how much did they pay for it? Did you simply listen? Or did you also try to convince or pitch them? In your opinion, did your niche demonstrate high, medium, or low potential for wanting your solution? How hungry is this niche? Remember, is it a nice-to-have solution for them, or is it a gotta-have solution for them? How ready are they? How financially able are they to pay for your solution? How willing would they be to be resourceful in order to pay you for a top solution to fix their very painful problem? Now you're going to be putting all these puzzle pieces together. You're going to be completing the accompanying niche research exercises. Track all the intelligence you're getting from the interviews, the articles, the online content, and group participation. Pay attention to both the positive signals for this niche, the green lights, and areas of doubt or resistance, the yellow or red lights. Work on the worksheet that I've given you. Work up a list of the top 10 problems your ideal niche is experiencing now. What symptoms are showing up for each of these problems? Complete the worksheet and don't shortcut it. And then finally, review the list of sample interview questions that I'm putting in the tool shed for you. Tailor these questions to your niche or your business solution. And next up, we're going to be talking about creating your offers, your signature system, and your actual business model. So I'll see you in the next lesson, which is going to take everything you've learned so far and is going to put it all together. And I'll see you next time.